Let's use import records to take a look at some of VUORI suppliers. If you're new to the show here, I use import records to take a look at what clothing companies are importing. The databases I use are based on maritime shipping records, so this may not be an exhaustive list of all the suppliers. It's not going to count what these brands are flying in. So here we have the Ventana jacket. VUORI is going to source this from a garment manufacturer that is located in Indonesia. Turns out that Yongjin Javasuka is not just one garment factory. It appears that there are at least 3 of them. 3 of these are actually going to be under a Korean company called Hojian Limited. 2018, Hojian Limited also had another garment factory, which they decided to shut down, move to another part of Indonesia. And there were also findings from the WRC alleging management was essentially harassing or trying to coerce workers into quitting their jobs before the factory actually closed down, which in turn would reduce the amount of severance that they were owed. From what I saw, Hojian was not going to pay the garment workers until 2019, when basically the companies that they were supplying for stated that they were not going to work with Hojian anymore unless they paid the garment workers in full. Let's take a look at the Coronado shirt jacket, elevation racerback tank, and the long sleeve ponto button-down shirt. These are just a few of the garments that are going to be made by Eclat Textile. If you haven't heard of them, they are an absolutely giant manufacturer. I believe they have locations in Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, as well as Taiwan. And then these are just some of the companies that Eclat will manufacture for. And here's a scorecard from Know the Chain that is basically evaluating them. You can see that they have an overall score of 0 out of 100 points. This was from 2023. I haven't seen any updated version of it, but yeah. If you're wondering about their corset tank, waffle knits, a waffle polo, along with some of their bras, import records say that they may just come from Sabrina Cambodia Garment. I couldn't find much about Sabrina Garment. I'm gonna try and look a little bit further, but what I did find was this news article that was all over in 2013. Now we have like a short sleeve seamless serge tee, merino fine gauge wool sweater, as well as I saw a lot of different underwear types were being manufactured by Mass Capital. This is what the Business and Human Rights Resource Center says are their biggest issues. If you look down here, you'll see who they are also working with. They also were named in this report, which basically traced the supply chains from like the cotton field to actual brands and retailers. This was regarding forced labor and child labor. So yeah. And then we have Far Eastern Apparel. Their import records were, quite generic. I could only really make out like that they are doing like knit shorts and things. Far is sourcing from the Vietnam branch as it shows in import records. Far Eastern was also investigated in this report from Transparatum in 2025 regarding labor abuse in Taiwan's textile industry. And here's a fun little quote from that. And here's some of the other brands that also show up in import records regarding Far Eastern Apparel.